Short of it is, we are doing Dwarves. So, hello, and in this video we are going to look at the Dwarves for Kings of War Vanguard. The basic thing about the Dwarves is they are short, they are stocky, they've got good stats all around, but they are slow. That's basically it for the Dwarf. Tough, but slow. So, starting with the warband abilities, we have tactical redeployments needing 2 power to use. Select a dwarf command model in the warband. All dwarf models within 9 inch, including the nominated command model that are not knocked down or engaged, may immediately move up to 3 inch in any direction following the normal movement rules. Models are not marked as activated after moving if they have not already. Once any moves are completed, all models that were eligible to move are given a free brace action. Mark them as such. So essentially they're moving forward and just readying the shields ready for the oncoming attack, which is a nice defensive ability and very dwarfy. Next is bullheaded. Dwarf models in this warband add +1 to the result when rolling for headstrong. This means on a 5+, the fatigue counter is moved and the model may act as normal, so usually it's on 6. In the dwarf's case it's on a 5. The spells, we've got Earthquake, which is long, 6 inch range. Each model under the area of the breath attack must roll a die. If a model rolls equal to or under its speed stat, it is knocked down and must make a single armor roll to avoid suffering a wound. Models that have the steady special rule may re-roll the test against their speed stat. Does this work on friends and enemies, or just enemies? I mean, it says each model, so I'd say it means both, but could mean either. It's not really that clear, unfortunately. Forged New, short, 6 inch range, 2d8. Cast on self or target a friendly model within range, even if it is engaged. Roll 2d8. For each 7+ rolled, the armor stat of the target is improved by 1 until the end of the round. For example, 5+ becomes 4+ to a maximum of 3+, which is pretty good. It's short, its range is short, but you could potentially really have some really durable dwarves with this going off. Them spells ain't bad, it's just Earthquake, it needs FAQing. So the grunt, and it is the Dwarf Levy. 8 points, 20 mil base. Speed 4, melee 5, range 5, armor 5, nerve 5, 1 wound, height 2. Headstrong. 2d8 in melee, 1 at range, and can take a spear for a point. Stats aren't bad, it's got headstrong. It's a bit more impressive than most weak grunts, mainly because it's got headstrong, which is always useful. I suppose the main downside is it's slow. And the stats aren't bad for what it is, and it's cheap. That's the main thing of it. It's cheap. Next we have the Warriors, starting with the Iron Watch. 16 points, 20 mil base. Speed 4, melee 5, range 5, armor 5, nerve 5, 2 wounds, height 2. Comes with headstrong, 1d8 in melee, 2d8 at range. It's got crossbow, which is 12 inch range, piercing 1 and reload. Combined fire, when involved in a group shoot action, Iron Watch models add +1 dice to their range attack roll if one or more other Iron Watch models in the group fire at the same target, which is nice. Does it not come with the option for a rifle? No? You thought it come with an option for a rifle, but okay, whatever. It's not bad. 16 points, it's twice the points cost of a Dwarf Levy. Only difference with this is it's got a good ranged capabilities, but other than that, it's a bit expensive, but does what it does, I guess. Next we have the Ironclad, 13 points, 20mm base. Speed 4, melee 4, range 6, arm 4, nerve 5, 2 wounds, height 2. Comes with headstrong. 2d8 in melee, 1 at range. Hammer and Anvil. Ironclad models have the Ironclad models engaged with the same enemy model count as one or... I'll start again, shall I? Ironclad models engaged with the same enemy model as one or more friendly shield breakers have the swarm special rule, which is nice. It kind of gives the thing of have plenty of ironclad and shield breakers around, which is an interesting thing to have. Ironclads aren't bad, they're fairly cheap with an armor of 4 and a nerve of 4, melee of 4. Yeah, I think they're worth the 13 points. They're not particularly powerful, but they don't really need to be. Next we have the Dwarf Ranger, 19 points, 20mm base. Speed 5, melee 4, range 4, armor 5, nerve 5, 2 wounds, height 2. Headstrong and Scout, 2d8 in melee, 2d8 at range. Light crossbow, which is 12-inch range. Combined fire. When involved with a group shoot action, Dwarf Ranger models, including Dwarf Ranger captains, add +1 dice to their range attack roll if one or more other Dwarf Ranger models in the group fire at the same target. Does that last little bit include Ranger captains? I'd say it does, but it's not really clear enough. It's not bad stat wise, actually. You've got Scout, which helps with manoeuvrability, speed of 5, bit more manoeuvrable. Range and melee of 4, which is really helpful, and then 2d8 in close combat and at range, also helpful. It's got no piercing on it, slight crossbow, but range of 12, at least it's got something there. Next we have the Shield Breaker, 14 points, 20mm base. Speed 4, melee 4, range 6, armor 5, nerve 5, 2 wounds, height 2. Headstrong and crushing strength 1, 2d8 in melee, 1d8 at range. It's got Shield Breaker Hammer, which the model may reroll one of its melee attack die that failed to cause a hit. Okay, I'd have thought it'd be a case of if you roll, I don't know, an 8 or something, you get extra crit strength or something. I suppose that'd be a bit too powerful, wouldn't it? It's only 1 more points than the Ironclad. It's got crushing strength, it's got the Shield Breaker Hammer. Armor's a bit lower, but to have crushing strength, that's always helpful, I have to say. Next we have the Mastiff Packmaster, 20 points, cavalry base. Speed 4, melee 5, range 5, armor 5, nerve 5, 2 wounds, height 2. Headstrong, stubborn, swarm, vicious, 2d8 in melee, 1 at range. It's got Throned Mastiff, which is 9-inch range, 3d8, piercing 1, reload. It's got cumbersome. This model cannot climb or be given any kind of mount. That's a shame. It's expensive, but it's not bad. It's alright for combat, I suppose. Bought the Throne Mastiff. 3d8 with piercing 1. Whew. That's not bad at all. It's got reload, which can hamper somewhat, but I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue, if I'm honest, because it can move about somewhat. Yeah, you've got to reload. It is a bit expensive. That's the main thing you've really got to watch out for. Next we have the sport, starting with the Vanguard, 23 points, 20mm base. Speed, and gives 1 red power die. Speed 4, melee 3, range 6, armor 4, nerve 4, 2 wounds, height 2. Crush strength 1, defend and headstrong, 3d8 in melee, 1 at range. It's a pretty good close combat unit, isn't it? Hitting on 3s with crush strength 1 and 3 dice. Armor and nerve 4, always helpful. It's there just to stay stocky, stay in the fight and crush your enemy's head while doing so. Not really much to say about it other than it will hurt. It will hurt a lot. Next we have the Flame Priest, 30 points, 20mm base. Speed 4, melee 5, range 5, armor 5, nerve 5, 2 wounds, height 2. Headstrong and stubborn. 1d8 in melee, 1d8 at range. It's got a Dwarf Flamethrower, which is 6-inch range, 4d8, wow, breath, piercing 1. Yeah, that Flamethrower is pretty good. The range is a bit short, but considering the game it's in, kind of expected. It's also got Concentrated Fire. Once per game, the Flame Priest may take a long action to attack using its Dwarf Flamethrower with a range of 9-inch and piercing 2 instead of the normal profile. This will also fatigue the Flame Priest. So it can, I don't know, concentrate and build up the flames inside it, unleash a lot of fire, and yeah, that could do a lot of damage. If you've got a lot of enemies doing group actions, or maybe near an objective, use that just to clear them out, because with piercing 2, that is going to hurt so much, and it's 48. Ooh. Next we have the Battle Driller, 29 points, Cavalry base. Speed 4, melee 5, no range stat, arm 4, nerve 5, 3 wounds, height 2, crush strength 2, 2d8 in melee, and it's got the Battle Drill, which, when this model makes a melee attack, not a retaliation, with the Battle Drill, hits are scored on 5+, regardless of any modifiers. Nice. Each hit scored counts an exploding 8 to result, and so another dice can be rolled. So essentially, as long as you keep hitting, you can keep going. It's also got cumbersome. This model cannot climb and may not be given any mount. So running forward with a Battle Drill on a Brock or something. So yeah, it's really powerful. This is armor's good, nerve isn't bad actually. It's also got 3 wounds, which yeesh, that is quite good. Might seem expensive, but the amount of damage you can do, even on some of the large things or some of the commanders with good armour, that is going to hurt like wano. Next we have the Brock Rider, 30 points, Cavalry base. Speed 6, melee 5, no range stat, arm 5, nerve of 3, 3 wounds, height 2. Bloodlust, Cavalry, parry and vicious, 3d8 in melee, none at range. Frenzy, needs 1 power to use. Use this ability to gain 2 bonus dice when this model makes a melee attack, not a retaliation. Spend the power before rolling any dice. May not be used in conjunction with the normal use of power to gain bonus dice for a roll. So yeah, it's there just to rush in, do as much damage before it dies essentially. Having said that though, its armour is not that bad. Armour of 5 for something that's a Berserker unit ain't bad at all. Usually Berserk units' armour is terrible, but this Berserk unit's got pretty good armour. It's also fast for a dwarf, 3d8. The only real downside is it's no crushing strength, but considering what it's there for flanking and hitting medium to light armoured stuff, yeah. Oh god, yeah. Next we have the Large, starting with the Earth Elemental. 35 points, 40 mil base. Speed 4, melee 5, no range stat, arm 4, nerve 4, 6 wounds, height 3. Crush strength 2, steady and smash, 48 in melee, none at range. It's very good for its points value. Its probably real downside is it's a bit slow. I'd have thought it'd be a bit faster than it is, and it's hitting on 5s, which still isn't bad, but most large things hitting on 4s, and I think there's the odd time they hit on 3s. But hitting on 5 still ain't bad. Crush strength 2 with 6 wounds. It is going to stay a fair bit. The thing is, its main weakness, well, not weakness, the thing that's gonna be its downfall is a lot of piercing. I don't think being in close combat is going to be its downfall. With 6 wounds, it's still going to take a while, even though if you've got a lot of crush strength, still not going to be easy to take out. It really, really isn't. So, next we have the Steel Juggernaut, and it is a special character, so you can only take 1 of these in your army. For 4 points, 40 mil base, and gives 1 red power die. Yeah. Speed 5, melee 4, range 5, armor 4, nerve 4, 5 wounds, ooh, height 3, crush strength 3, wow. Headstrong, smash and steady. 48 in melee, 2d8 at range. It's got light cannon, which is 12-inch range, piercing 2. It's also got tremor stomp, which needs 2 power to use. Spend the power to make a short action during this model's turn to cause a shockwave. Use the rules for the shockwave spell, not the boosted version. This is not considered to be the casting of a spell, however. The model can be engaged, must be standing to use the Tremor Stomp. Arm rolls for models forced to move out of contact with the Steel Juggernaut are not required. So it's just pushing things back, so maybe your other models can charge in, or maybe that potentially could charge them. I mean, it's got Crush Strength 3 with 4 dice hitting on 4s. Yeah, that's going to hurt a lot. It's also got a fairly decent range attack. Maybe they're used for hitting all the big things or hitting command models and the like. It's expensive, but considering what it can do, it can do a lot, and it's very good. In 5 wounds. Whew. Next we have the Spellcaster. It is the Stone Priest. 28 points, 20 mil base. Speed 4, melee 6, range 4, armor 6, nerve 4, 3 wounds, height 2. Headstrong and inspiring. 1d8 in melee. Sorry, 2d8 in melee, 1d8 at range. It's got Fireball, which is short, Hammer, which is long, and Heal, which is short. I don't know whether it wants to be a Berserker that has spell capabilities or what. Its armour and melee is pretty naff, even though it's got 2d8 in melee. Don't know. I don't know why it's not got 2d8 at range, but hey ho, I guess. Nerve's not bad, 3 wounds. I can see why it's a bit cheaper than most, considering its stats aren't all that great, but at least it's got the specific dwarf spells, which are fairly nice. Next we have the commands, starting with Dwarf Sergeant, 31 points, 20 mil base. Speed 4, gives 1 white power die. Speed 4, melee 4, range 5, armor 4, nerve 5, 4 wounds, height 2. Headstrong, inspiring, crush strength 1, 3d8 in melee, 1d8 at range. This is pretty good for the points cost. I'd say it's fairly cheap. It's about, I don't know, 5-6 points too cheap in my opinion. It's got 4 wounds with armor 4, melee 4, 3d8 with crush strength 1, and 1 white dice. That is really good. Like I said, I think it's 5 or 6 points too cheap for what it is. Next we have the Range Captain, 44 points, 20 mil base. Gives 1 white power die. Yeah. Speed 5, melee 4, range 3, armor 5, nerve 4, 3 wounds, height 2. Headstrong, inspiring, scout, and crush strength 1. 3d8 in melee, 2d8 at range. It's got a light crossbow, which is 12-inch range. It's got combined fire, which says, well, it's kind of the same as the Dwarf Ranger one. When involved in a group shoot action, Dwarf Ranger models, including Ranger Captains, add +1 dice to their range attack roll if one or more other Dwarf Ranger models in the group fire at the same target, which isn't bad. It's I think it's about right for the points cost actually. Hitting at 3s at range is great. It's not slouching melee at all. Actually, no. No, it's about right for its points cost. It's a command model, it gives power dice, it's also got inspiring, which is good support option. The combined fire, which is nice. Yeah. I don't think it's going to kill much, but as a support command, I don't think it's too bad if I'm honest. Next we have the Berserker Lord, 43 points, 20 mil base, gives 2 red power die. Speed 5, melee 4, no range stat, armor 6, nerve 3, 4 wounds, height 2. It's got Bloodlust, crush strength 1, headstrong, inspiring, steady and vicious. 3d8 in melee, none at range. It's got Frenzy, which uses 1 red power dice to use. Uses his ability to gain 2 bonus dice when this model makes a melee attack, not a retaliation. Spend the power before rolling any dice. Cannot be used in conjunction with the normal use of power to gain a bonus dice for a roll. Shame hasn't got 4d8 in melee, considering it's some sort of high-end berserker, but hey ho. And surprising it don't hit on 3s. So what else? It's got 4 wounds, nerve of 3, so it ain't running off that quickly or early. We've got Bloodlust and crush strength 1, and vicious, which is nice melee. Inspiring, well, instead is also nice for defensive capabilities. Inspiring's nice as well. Slightly cheaper than the Ranger Captain. I'd say it's better than the Ranger Captain overall, but hey, that's just me. The Dwarves' main weakness is they are short. They've got good shooting, good close combat, not bad spells, and fairly good large. They're kind of trying to be a jack of all trades, and in a way they are. Their mastery comes in that they've got amazing defences and a lot of hard hitting stuff. The main weakness is they are slow. That being said though, their Brock Rider is a movement of 6, and they've also got the Rangers and Range Captain with a speed of 5 to get around some of the other penalties. So you've got a choice for everything. Also, I'd like to say they are a really good starter faction, and they're fairly easy to put together and paint really. So that's it for the Dwarves. Goodbye for now.